Hi and welcome to my channel, OLF Homeschooling. My name is Justine and I will be starting homeschooling for preschool for my first, who is 3 years old, starting next week. So I want to go ahead and let you look at what we're doing. Alright, so first off, we'll be using part of the Memoria Press curriculum. And I bought this curriculum used on a buy-sell trade group on Facebook. Now I like this curriculum because it does have everything laid out so nicely. But one of the downsides I found with this curriculum for preschool is that my daughter already knows most of the things that it teaches. So I went ahead and I put together some other things to go with it because there are still things in here that I felt like she still needed to learn, and it gives a great structure for the day. So I'll go ahead and show you what we'll be using from the curriculum and what I'll be doing instead. Alright, so first off, we're going to have calendar. Now, I got this calendar. Actually, I didn't buy it. I used to, sorry, my kids play with this all the time. I use an app called Dice, where you can watch ads like every hour if you wanted to, and it gives you rolls, and you can use the tickets that you earn to get prizes. And so one of the things that I had got with that is this calendar in the back, and typically I only use that to buy homeschooling materials. Alright, and so to go along with calendar, which we are using from the curriculum, I made a calendar binder. And so this is hook and loop for her to be able to add on to things just like we have on our calendar board. And so I figured it would also be good because it would give her some board to hand work. Alright, and the other thing I have is the morning recitation. I kind of made my own, not saying that I didn't like their recitation in the book. There were a few things in there, because a lot of what I have is in the curriculum, but what I added was like just kind of basic knowledge, things I wanted my daughter to know, like her name and how to spell, like our last name is kind of tricky, and our phone numbers, of something, if she were to get separated from us, something, that she could use to help find us. Alright, the next thing I have, this is actually from the curriculum. I'm calling it read alouds. They have it kind of mixed in like a literature, poetry, some of it's with the alphabet lesson. But these are all the books that are suggested from the preschool curriculum. And, well, they're not quite all the books, but they're a good portion of them. I'm going to go ahead and get some of the books from the library. So any book that was available at the library, I chose not to get it. Many of the books we already had, and then I've been using that app Dice to get the books that we didn't have. This is where I have a big change. So for handwriting, I purchased, let me see if I can get them out. They're the sandpaper letters. And then we have this from a Melissa and Doug toy that we don't use anymore. And so we're going to, when we work on certain letters. She'll have the sandpaper letter to trace. We can put it in there, and I will fill the bottom with sand that she can trace with her finger. And then for books, we'll be using the Kumon uppercase letters. We're going to do that first. Then we'll work on numbers and lowercase letters. Alright, and like I said, my daughter has a good foundation with letters, and she knows some of her letter sounds. So I've been putting together a preschool Montessori lesson book, and I didn't print up the book. I want to be able to add pictures as we do them, but I'll show you on my computer. Let me see, that part I need to update. But basically, I have all these lessons that I've put together and kind of in order. We do the 3-period lessons for introducing letters. And then once we have all the letters down, we'll be building words, and we're going to do the primary phonics, the first 2 sets of books with this program that I put together. And I'm not sure how this is going to go. I've never taught preschool, and I'm just hoping it'll work. But throughout the year, I'll show you where we are in the program and what we've done and how it's working. Alright, so for math, we'll be starting with the number rods. She already knows how to count to 10, and she does count objects, although not all the time correctly. So, because sometimes she'll, like, this is 2 here, she'll go 1, 2, 3. You know, she might count the same color twice. So that will be something we work on. And then we have the teens and tens board. And we have all the beads to go with that. And our big goal will be counting up to 100, but we'll see. I'm not going to push her. It's just going to be how far she gets. Alright, so then also what I put together will be Preschool Skills. And this will be where I go over letter names, which she already knows, but I'll keep drilling her on flashcards so she has it down all the time. Colors, which she knows as well. Shapes. And I added 3-dimensional shapes in here, so she already knows her shapes. So I've been giving her 3-dimensional shapes and reading numbers. So I made these flashcards and they go all the way to 100. Alright, and then from Memoria Press, we got my very first scissors book. And she actually has not used scissors before, so this should be fun for her. And then we're doing big preschool, so we'll do a couple pages a day. I think 1 to 3 pages a day is what I have planned. And I don't intend for her to complete the entire book. I basically have lessons planned and pick pages that would go along with the lessons that we have planned for the day. Alright, now this one is from a book that Memoria Press recommends, and they use in their preschool curriculum as kind of their enrichment program, and it has different patterns for making different animals. So the panda, here's a koala, and they have a gorilla. So I went ahead and got that to go along with their curriculum. Alright, and then religion. So our big reason why we're homeschooling is because when my husband and I were getting married and we talked about children, I said I wanted them to have a Catholic education. And that was really important to me, and I was teaching in a Catholic school, and But the other thing I wanted was to be able to stay home with our children when we had them. And so my husband was the one to mention homeschooling, just because he felt like tuition can get kind of high, it can get expensive. And so he said if I really wanted them to go to Catholic school, he would be okay with that, but he would want me to work to help cover the cost of tuition. But he said he would be fine with me staying home if I chose to homeschool our kids. And then he goes, what better teacher would they have than their own mother, who taught in a Catholic school for 9 years. So, or at that time, it was 8 years. So we decided we would homeschool. So for this year, what I have is this little book, and I got it at the a Catholic homeschooling conference, and it's called Little Acts of Grace. And as you can see, the book is usually $6.95, and I was able to find it there for $1. But this is a cute little book, so I figured we'll work on one lesson a week. And so it has things like bowing your head and just having reverence. The prayer before the gospel, what does that mean? What are the people doing? So we'll be doing one of these lessons a week. And then we'll be doing some of, not the entire book, of 100 Bible stories. And then the Children's Book of Faith. So this book here, Little Acts of Grace, even with just only doing one lesson a week, it will not finish us for the entire year. So for the rest of the year, once we finish that book, we'll do one story a week from here, The Children's Book of Faith by William J. Bennett. And so this has just really nice stories where love is, God is, just on faith, believing in God. So I picked those out for our preschool program. And that is all. So I hope that you will join me as we complete our year. It should be exciting. I may have overplanned.